Hello, YouTubers. Joe and Paul here of Joe and Paul. And Paul was remarking how we look old. Well, hell, we're in our, well, I'm 61, he's 59. Yeah, we're getting old. So what? I think it's great. I'm delighted that, my dad died here almost before he was six, just a few months before he was 65. I've already outlived almost all of the males in my family. So
Yeah, well, 25 years ago, somebody ran out of gas, wanted to know if my son could go and get him some gas and bring him back and fill his car up so he could go on his journey.
well, for all of those sort of dad son fantasy fetishists out there, that might be a huge turn on. But that's not really what we're here to talk about today. Now. This morning started around 3 o'clock for me, awakening to watch, the departure of the Dragon from the space station, this cargo ship, and they have the arm, the arm clutching this sort of, thing, and then when they, then at a certain point, certain time it sort of moves out ever so slowly. Now you can sort of watch the data on the screen, and it's like, 7 centimeters a minute, and so you're looking at, you figure this thing's moving out about 2 inches a minute and so forth, and then when they finally get ready to do the burn, you can't see the burn. It's not like there's a flame shooting out of this thing. But all of a sudden you sort of see it going, then it does a little rotating, and then at the final thing it goes, and then that's it. And and I haven't seen the splashdown video, and of course they beguile you by saying you can watch it on a certain URL and website, and you go there and no. What I did do when I went to the SpaceX Dragon website was I bought a T-shirt for my grandson, uh, whose slogan is "Occupy Mars." I hope it's big enough for him and it'll last him a little bit. If not, I suppose they could use it for a wash rag or something. So we'll see. It's interesting that you can also, if you click around on their website, you can also buy a heavy lift rocket. Now, my credit card wouldn't quite swing to that. So,
Trip?
well, no, well, they said you can negotiate what you want.
Ship or
Negotiation.
buy the ship.
But my credit card won't spring quite to the heavy lift rocket, so I had to just settle for this $25 T-shirt for my grandson. Well, that ain't gonna happen very often, but I thought, well, what the heck? It's better than these superhero nonsenses that I have to watch him wear. Anyway, so now I like to watch the Sault Ste. Marie locks on the internet. They have They have 4 cameras. Well, one of them's covered with bird crap, but you can sort of see what's going on anyway on that. But now the navigation got iced in on January 17th, which is statistically the coldest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. And we've been watching the ice up there, and there was a point there about 3 weeks ago where it looked like it was about ready to, open up. But then ice back in. But today, all of a sudden, there's like this line of freighters coming up from Lake Huron up the St. Mary's River toward, going up on the Lake Superior. And then there was one coming down. Now, I don't know. It wasn't an icebreaker. It was an actual freighter coming down. Maybe he got trapped up there after January 17th.
Giant red ones.
Well, yeah, there's a big lake
with
freighter,
the
big
gray
lake,
and black one.
yeah, well, big lake freighter.
Line-
So,
spikes.
sure enough, they opened up navigation, and these guys are going through the lock, and so we'll be able to watch that again. Now, the other sort of thing is we have. Well, I particularly have, but Paul's met these guys, and I'd like to say he's part of friends with them too. These guys from Fort Wayne, Indiana, that I knew back in 79, 80, 1979, 1980, and we've sort of kept in touch, but now that I've become computerized, I called their phone and left a message and said, "Here's my email," and so. By and lo and behold, the one fellow emailed me back just to confirm the email. So then maybe we'll be able to get back in touch again, which would be fun. And so we'll see about that. Now, the other thing is that come Easter week here, the week after Easter, my ex-wife has decided that she's going to consider maybe getting one of these computers, and yeah. Paul has a very, very sensible way of laughing about this, I think, but
who's going to teach her how to work?
Well, I will. It's not that hard. I mean, I taught you how, So, it's medicine. They say, learn one, do one, teach one. That's how medicine is taught. Learn one, do one, teach one.
Okay,
So,
she wants to start taking notes.
Yeah,
As soon as you
yeah.
start
Well,
talking,
no, that's-
allow her to do that.
oh no, in fact, I said the first thing you got to do is you got to get yourself a legal pad, and I'll bring her a legal pad.
I'll stop and buy some.
and
I'll go out and get some.
Well, you don't need but just
stack.
one, and I said, you don't need a stack, but just then you start writing stuff down and writing stuff down and writing stuff down. Mine is half full, and I've stopped writing because I'm sort of there. I still write stuff down from time to time, and I said, and so see, that's interesting. Paul did it when my son taught me, okay, more or less. I did it, and then I sort of helped Paul. Now, so then that's maybe the ex-wife. Who knows? Depends on the serotonin and dopamine levels at the time. You never know. And so we'll see. Now, did I tell them about the great blue heron?
Oh, yeah. Too bad.
Today's wildlife updated. Well, we see great blue herons all the time, but it's fun to have them come back here. And I was standing out there on the deck, and I saw these ripples coming up from behind a sycamore tree, and I thought, what's that? Of course, it could be a turtle or it could be this or that, but it was a great blue heron that was stalking around.
I thought it was mallards before I left for work.
Well, it may have been them when you left for work. I mean, hell, that was like 9 hours ago. So, so this great blue heron stalks out, and the great thing about the great blue heron is it's this beautiful gray blue, and then against the water at a certain, there's no contrast. It's like the shadow moving across this backwash area in the creek. Well, then it walked around for it, and then it took off. Now, I have no idea how these guys could fly through all these little tiny tree branches that are all interstices laced together. It goes.
They do it.
It sort of went up, and I thought, well, maybe it's going to land in a tree because I've seen them land in trees, but it sort of made this right angle turn and went down and then up and then up toward the dam and the lake, Allen Creek Lake. Amazing.
See, he comes down here and he feeds here, and then he goes farther down toward Westerville proper. and down there for
Well,
most of the day. And then he works his way back.
he can defecate on Westerville anytime he wants, as far as I'm concerned. Now to get to Paul's part of the tale of, not necessarily woe and lament, but tale. It seems that one, there were deaths at the hotel today and other hotels, and
Sunday night.
he's actually going to get to have a vacation here. So, here with Paul.
Yeah. Today's the day off. I'll go back to work for 2 days. And then I'm off Saturday and Easter Sunday. And it's working out that I'm going to have 10 days off.
This is the longest he's been off in,
Since about 2003.
gosh, it's been since 2001 anyway, because that's the last time we actually took a traveling vacation.
Let's see, you were bought the trailer.
Well, there was a lot of reasons to buy that trailer. I had a lot of stuff going on. I just had to do that.
We did a couple of trips when we bought it. It's been around 2001, 2002 since I've had an actual whole week or so off for vacation.
I'd owned the thing for all of 2.5 hours, and Paul's dad came down and broke the stove.
I mean, he was yanking on it.
And
How's this work?
And he warped the top.
He ripped the top off.
I, of course, didn't say anything because I was trying to be a gracious host.
So when we go anywhere, we take the top of the stove off.
Yes.
And put it somewhere safe, like
yes. We
in a sink or in
well,
a
and we use a grill top that we've salvaged from some dump and put on the top so that it's level. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I really admired Paul's dad. Hell's fire. I mean, the man was a self-made man.
The man was born and raised as a jury rigger.
Well, that's right. No.
If anyone understands that,
yes.
If you understand the fact what a jury rigger is,
but he broke my trailer.
I mean, how you can take anything from something else and make something else work properly. You have my father.
Tell them about these. Tell them about these dead people. Oh, I'm sorry.
For example, a Volkswagen, the original Volkswagen Beetle.
Yes, the real ones.
The Volkswagen.
Not these trendy ones with a little flower vase.
With the motor in the front. When the motor was in the back.
Dashboard.
That.
The ones that had like a little handle, you could, like a flap handle, a brake handle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had those too. You could, if you had trouble with a, what they call it, distributor cap.
Well, it's like a lawnmower engine in the back.
Yeah, I know. But if you took...
How many cylinders that thing had? Could have been too many.
I don't know. 4.
Oh.
Anyway.
Good luck with a heater on that one.
You could take a distributor cap off of a 1956 Ford.
Now we got to use this wire the coil into... I'm sorry.
And attach it to a 19...
all you guys out there...
It would work in a VW Beetle as long as the motor was in the butt of the car.
I used the phrase
not
coil.
In the front.
That's there's probably not a coil anymore in engines, is there? There's looks like this little box. I'm sorry.
Oh shit! Everything is so freaking computerized.
It was you know, when
I opened the hood on my truck and I go, oh shit.
when I was a sophomore in high school, we'd drive around for debate, you know, and this woman who was our debate coach had this VW Beetle, and so you know she packed us all in, three guys in the back seat, and then me, you know, one of us, you know, sometimes me, sometimes not in the front, and because we had four, you have to have like two, you know, like two for negative, two for affirmative, and we drove around, and I was so taken by the fact that the middle of the thing had this the brake, you know, and she just instead of hitting
That was
her
a parking brake.
well, yes, but instead of hitting the foot brake, she just used that to stop. You know, she'd use that as a standard brake. Well, I was, you know, I have a pilot's license, and I was taking flying lessons at the time, and it was very much like the manual flap handle in the aircraft I was training in. And so I always loved the idea that you had this sort of, well, and a flap handle is often used sort of similar to in an aircraft, kind of like a brake. So I thought that was such a neat thing to have, you know, like this handbrake, you know, it's like between the seats, you know. Plus it was great to have, you know, now I would far prefer bench seats nowadays, but at that point, you know, the idea of individual seats up front, that was very unique to me. And I, you know, well, hell, you're in high school, you're 17, you're 16, you're 15. You know, I mean, it's everything like that's new and exciting, isn't it? Well, it can be, and it was to me. And
That's why I bought my Volkswagen Beetle, and I went home with it. My father slam friend said, "Get the
did he
out of here," and slammed the front door on my face.
Did he warp it? See, his dad worked for General Motors up here in Columbus, you know, and of course they had this big thing you have to have these General
We were
Motors
never to own
cars.
anything other than
Yeah, right.
a
Well,
car
that's
from
okay.
Michigan,
Well, you know,
not from Germany.
well, or from Columbus for that matter. Now, Paul worked out there for a while, and he made he buffed down the rough edges on what the doors and stuff, right?
Yeah, door frames.
Yeah.
It was a rough polish. And I did stuff on chrome. I did the locks, door locks. I did seat adjusters.
I will say that it, you know, when we first met, it made it very, very awkward for me having to sort of be at work at 6:30 in the morning and having to go out and, you know, meet him, you know, out at the bars at 11. And then, you know,
That's when I got off.
and well, yes, that's when I got off work. I mean, so our initial encounters were, you know, very more or less sleepless for me, but still seemed to work out all right. So here we are.
And we've been here ever since.
Yeah, indeed we have. Thank
Yep,
the good
since
Lord. Yes.
The very first meeting.
Yeah, November 16th, 1980. My mother's birthday, by the way, which I always find, you know, just wonderfully ironic.
I was in a three-piece suit. I just came back
I don't remember that one. That's
having
okay.
dinner with Louie and
Doesn't matter.
oh, what's that little guy's name?
Mark. No. Oh, he met Mark later. Mark of the
No, the guy from
Mark of the Bell. Yes.
Oh hell, he worked in the I can't even think of that name. Anyway,
we all know that we've had some of those in our lives, don't we?
my roommate is real hot little other.
Well, he had a number of hot little numbers, as I recall, that wandered in and out.
Oh really?
Well, yes.
Yeah. More than you can count on your hands and your toes.
Well, not that many. Not that many, but
Talking to Lewis.
well, no, I'm saying yes. You know, I had a lot of time for Louis. He was a good guy.
He was a great freaking mechanic.
Well,
too.
no, well, yes, you know, he had a great work ethic. You have great work. I mean, just, you know, and then, yeah.
Yeah, he used to work in my father's plant. And somebody made a statement about his father at that time was head
Plant
of the
manager.
plant.
Yeah, plant manager.
And someone said something about him, and it made Louis mad. Louis jumped up over a cafeteria table and not took the guy out, and they set him up on the red carpet and demanded he be fired instantly, and his father agreed, and he fired his own son. So then Lou went
Kmart.
Kmart and became a head mechanic for Kmart.
Now,
15 years.
I'd call that Tales from the Apocrypha, except there's enough truth to that that it wouldn't really be Tales from the Apocrypha. But I think on that note, we're going to sign off here for today. Now, Paul's off tomorrow, so who knows? We may put something up tomorrow, depending on the situation here. So bye-bye now, YouTubers.
Have a good night.